observing all of these things outside, they think something's fishy is going on. So then they barge into, so they push open the door and they barge in to see him eating. They thought that this is what was going on. So there is this family, they're Brahmanas, or they are ascetics. So families have certain deities that they worship. Some of you may be born Catholics, so you worship Jesus. Some of you may be born different social and cultural and spiritual backgrounds, and you'll be encouraged to worship a certain deity or a certain form of God, a certain form of the divine. So in this family of ascetics, their form of worship was Krishna. So this mother and father, they had a little child, but they could not live the deities in the care of this little child, but yet at the same time, they were scheduled to go on a pilgrimage. So then they decided, okay, whatever it may be, we'll train our son to do the proper rituals and make sure that we train him well so that when we leave, everything will be properly taken care of. So mother and father goes into pilgrimage after training the child, and the child is only a little baby. And he was very clearly instructed, the food that our servant in the house, they all had people that came to help in the house. So the servant in the house, our chef, whatever she cooks, she will make a nice plate of offering. Please make sure to take this food and offer it to Krishna and make sure that the deity eats it. Because if he doesn't eat it, then it's not a good sign. And this boy was very small, and he was instructed in this way. So the chef organized a beautiful lunch offering for the deities. They're family deities, who they worshipped as the Lord of their heart. So this young boy takes the offering plate and closes the door, because when the divine eats, then you're supposed to let them eat in peace, which is another big thing in the Vedic traditions, that we normally eat in silence and in deep gratitude. So normally we don't talk and we eat alone, and we just really, with every bite of morsel of food that we put in our mouth, every chew, every bite, we are expressing our innermost gratitude. So this is how normally yogis honor their food. So similarly, this family's deity, Krishna, was also given space to eat peacefully. But this boy was very clearly instructed that you have to make sure that the deity, the statue of Krishna, actually eats the food. Otherwise, it's not a good sign. So this little boy, he takes the plate inside and he closes the door, and he starts ringing the bell, trying to get the attention of the statue of Krishna. And he was saying, please eat. My father told me that you have to eat. And you are taking care of my parents and everyone. And it is our duty to feed you because you're residing in our house. You're our guest. You're the Lord of our house. So please eat. And the statue was just not moving, not doing anything. And he just kept pleading and begging. And no response. Then from his heart, he started crying. Like so deeply and sincerely, with like utter humility, he was praying, please, Krishna, my father and mother will be so upset if you don't eat. They will chastise me. They will not be happy with me, and I want to be a good son. Please, you are the Lord of our house. Please eat this food. It was made with so much love and devotion. So he kept praying with such sincerity that the deity, the divine, limited, infinite divine, came in this statue form and accepted the offerings of this child. And he went on his knees and he was eating all the food. And the boy was so happy. He says, okay, now I know. This is what my father has been doing for his lifetime, and then his father, and then his father. This is how it goes. This is what it means that, the residing God of our heart, he is actually fed and he eats our food. So he kept doing this every single day, and the deity just kept eating and kept eating and eating. And the parents finally come back after their pilgrimage, and they ask the cook, so how is our son doing? And the cook said, not quite sure what to tell you, but every time we give him a full plate, he goes inside and it comes out empty. And normally, when you offer a plate of food to the deities, you just show it to them and you offer it to them, and then you bring out the full plate of food. But this boy must be doing something very sneaky in there. He must be eating all the food when he takes it into the deity room. He must be eating all the food himself. So this is what the assumption of the cook was, and the cook had told the parents, he said, this is what's been happening. And the parents got extremely upset. How can the food that we have made for the deities, the divine personality of our heart, be doing this, that my son is just taking his food and eating it inside of his room, inside of his dining room? So they were so upset. But they didn't want to chastise the son. So when they came back, the parents were supposed to take back the service of worshiping their deities. But they said, son, we want you to continue the worship of doing the offerings to the deity of Krishna. And so the son said, yes, father, no problem. So the offering time comes at noon, and the child takes the offering. And the child is inside, and he is having this beautiful dialogue with his deity of Krishna. Krishna, you are the best. You're my best friend. You're so reliable. You're so infallible. You are so kind. And he starts talking about his beautiful relationship with his deity, like he was talking to his friend. And he says, I have brought the offering today, and this is what the menu is. So can you please eat this food? And the deity goes, sure. And the deity sits down and starts eating with it. The mother and father are observing all of these things outside. They think something's fishy is going on. So then they barge into the door. So they push open the door, and they barge in to see him eating. They thought that this is what was going on. And as soon as they barge in, they see that the deity is actually eating the food. And they're like, oh my God, we have never seen this. But the deities, they immediately froze. Why? Because it needs the topmost sincere, humble prayers of an innocent, loving heart in order to have that deep connection with the deity of their family. And so that deity, if you ever come to India with him, is still present. So this is not just a story. You can see the statue is actually sitting down to eat, and his hand is right there about to eat, and he freezes. So this interesting story from the yoga text explains the importance of sincere, loving offerings. And when there is a descending personality, because they're divine beings, and if we have that deep, sincere connection from our heart, then we will be able to have a practical, loving relationship of love between the worshiper and the worshipped.